Back here on the 1372 show, QBOG, on the grounds of the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Controls. We're here inside the Constellation Center of Excellence for NFL Enshrinement Weekend, and we're joined by David Pearce. David, your partnership with the NFL Alumni Association, the Academy, through SANFORD Health, you were talking to us about your title, which the research you have done. How have you really been able to impact some of these guys, and what do we expect to see moving forward, and how you can benefit and help these players?
Yeah, the relationship initially started in the fact that, there's so much talk nowadays about regenerative medicine and use of stem cells or different types of cells to help, alleviate pain or maybe regenerate, certain joints that have been injured or damaged. Everybody wants this, not just the NFL players, but everybody's looking for this because, we all age, we all have injuries. So at SANFORD Health, we recognize that, and we recognize out there right now a lot of people are offering treatments that are just not validated and have not been tested. So SANFORD Health got into this space, but really to legitimize what's the most appropriate treatments and cellular therapies that we could use, for these types of injuries, particularly and it's really quite often for sports injuries. So I got to meet some of the guys from the NFL alumni, and they heard what we were doing, and they said they wanted to learn more. So cutting a long story short, we did a survey of former players, asking them what types of injuries did they have, how did they get these injuries, what sorts of treatments do they have, and essentially asking was their interest in these types of approaches. And so that survey got published through the NFL alumni. It belongs to them. It was a partnership with SANFORD. And the next phase is that with these types of approaches, SANFORD is really not just a thought leader, but we have more of these approved treatments and approved trials than anybody else in the United States. So we're just about at the forefront of offering those to former players.
Dig a little deeper into when you guys are actually applying this medicine. When a lot of people, when they hear the word stem cell, they just are completely lost and they don't know how that whole process works. And I've seen different things. You remove blood, fat. You can, to be able to create that in the healing process. How does that all work?
Yeah, I mean, often stem cells is kind of a scary term, isn't it? So, let me sort of take a backdrop there and say, well, we've been using stem cells for 30 years for treating leukemias and other blood cancers. When you take bone marrow is what you use. You hear about these bone marrow donation programs. Are you a match? That's what it is. It's collecting blood stem cells. So it's been used for a long time and in the appropriate treatments of cancers. So now we're just moving to if there's stem cells in blood, there's stem cells in our fat around our abdomen. And what we can do is harvest some of that and then use that. The bottom line is bone marrow cells, you're treating a cancer, you're replacing cancerous cells. When it comes to using, the fat cells, what you're doing is they're kind of not too dissimilar to the types of cartilage or cells that you actually have that may be deteriorating when you get osteoarthritis. So why not just take some of your cells from your abdomen, collect them, and then put them back into your shoulder or your knee or your wrist or your ankle that's starting to show that wear and tear. So that's when we say stem cells. We do that. We probably shouldn't say that because it is a scary term, but it's basically the relocation of a healing factor in the body. If I was to say right now, if you were to get a cut on your arm right now, you would start to bleed. Well, factors come there and heal that, right?
Yep.
So why wouldn't we try and explore some of the types of factors that heal, an open tear and put them into an internal tear, as it were? It basically just recruits the other healing factors in the body.
It sounds a lot like the game of football, Jim. X's and O's. 4 DBs, bad. Let's put in 5 wide receivers. Make good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting for us as NFL alumnus players to be able to be partnered with you. Tell us how this whole thing came to be about. Was it Beasley Reese, the CEO, who reached out to you? How long has the partnership been going on? Obviously, you spoke to a lot of us today, which was fascinating, and this interview is great and really eye-opening for us. How did the whole partnership evolve?
Yeah, it initially started because SANFORD Health, as I say, we're leading the way, and I was actually asked to speak at a congressional hearing on what SANFORD is doing because there's so much interest in why there's these bad actors, as I call these clinics that are offering unproven treatments. So we were asked to speak at a congressional hearing to say, look, this is a health system that's doing right. This is how we're doing it. So then at the end of it, when you speak, people always want to come and speak to you. And Kyle Richardson, who's one of the directors for health at the NFL alumni, came up and said, hey, I'd like to learn a little bit more. It kind of helped that I sort of recognized him because he's a former Raven and my son's a Raven fan. So, so we hit it off just not, personally, as well as obviously with the fact that, I said, look, if you really want to explore this, let's sit down and let's do a survey for your former players, understand the types of injuries. that resulted in us putting a survey out, which we executed in 6 weeks. We're known as we're known as people who execute things. If I say we're going to do something, we're going to do it.
Done. When was that? When did that study take place?
So that would have been just prior to COVID. So we, and Kyle and Billy Davis did a wonderful job in getting that out. And then of course, we got all the results, and then just getting everybody together to do the analysis and release that. It took a little bit of time. But that was probably, just as COVID was really happening, we were sending that out. I mean, what else did people have to do other than answer emails and do surveys, right? So we had a tremendous response, and Beasley came and visited as well, and that led to us exploring other opportunities, that we can talk about.
David, we appreciate you joining us on the 1372 show. The work that you're doing to help players, the benefits that they're receiving, and it's a great partnership, and we look forward to 1372 show back here on the grounds of the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Controls, here at the NFL Alumni Association reception at the Constellation Center of Excellence building. Here, joined now by Bart Oates. Loved looking at the Super Bowl ring earlier as you and my dad were talking walking in. You're on the 94 team that was able to beat the San Diego Chargers with the 49ers. Talk about that experience and what it really means to you being an NFL alumni.
Well, it was, I had played 9 years with the 49ers. I played 3 years in the USFL prior to that, and so I'm at the end of my career, and the Giants have a kid they want to put in there and start, and I'm kind of tired. I'm ready to take a little break, and then the 49ers came and offered me a position. I'm like, heck, they got a pretty good team, and so we might be able to make a run at it. I go there in '94 and wind up playing well, going to the Super Bowl. I mean, we got a team like we're talking about, right? I mean, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, right? Brent Jones. We got Steve. On defense, we got Deion Sanders. Well, Ronnie's gone, but Deion Sanders, Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald,
Dana Stubblefield.
Right? I mean, we've got Dana Stubblefield, Richard Dent, Ricky Jackson, Kenny Norton Jr. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Yeah. So I just sat there and I don't have to do it. Just don't mess up. That's all I got to do, and then I got another ring.
Unbelievable playing career, obviously. We're standing here because of our association with the NFL Alumni Association, getting your blessing to be able to do this podcast, to put out all the great content and information, to update people on what different players are doing right now. Obviously, you are the leader under Beasley Reese now. Talk about what your position is for people out there that don't know exactly what you're doing with the NFL Alumni Association.
Well, thanks, Tim. I mean, we are a collection of former players that this organization is run by the former guys. It's for the former guys. Our missions are caring for our own, and as well as caring for kids in our communities. And so it's having the 40 some odd chapters that we have throughout the country of guys saying, hey, I want to take advantage. I want to leverage that brand. I want to leverage my position in the NFL to be able to make a difference in my communities. And so that's really kind of our purpose, is helping organize that, where each of the communities where Jim, where you guys are, right, to
Central
make a
chapter.
difference. Yeah.
Frank Stam's doing a great job running that program.
Yeah.
Andy Katzenmoyer down in Columbus. We'll be down there at the end of the month for alumni outing. Tartan.
Jim Breach. I mean,
it's going to be outstanding.
Yeah.
Two-time Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin's going to be down there. It's just, for us as former players, just to be able to spend time with guys in the different eras, to be able to tell stories like we are now, it's such a unique bond and a brotherhood. And we keep talking with each guest that we interview, realizing what football has done, beyond the game, to the platforms, and being able to talk to the people that we have. And with you being the president of the Alumni Association, and Beasley Reese's impact on what he's done in a short amount of time as the CEO, it's been awesome to see grow. Is there anything on the horizon that us as former players maybe don't know about that's coming up?
Listen, we've just scratched the surface. This is an exciting time. This organization we've changed where we are truly, when I talk about caring for our own, that's a commitment, that's a passion that we have. And we've got a lot of things in place, events and programs that are going to make a tremendous difference. Too premature to really talk about them now. Still have a lot of work to do, but we've made a difference. Just take what we just announced Monday with this national campaign partnership with CDC to promote vaccinations.
Yep.
And it's not, when I say promote it, it's helping people kind of get comfortable saying, if there is a hesitancy, for those that have a hesitancy, go talk to your healthcare provider. You know, at least have that discussion about, instead of just not doing it, make an informed decision, right? And there's reasons why people don't do it, but so the idea is that we work with the CDC. The CDC recognizes that we're an organization that can provide this messaging that's unique, if you will. And so these are the type of things that we do, and an influence that we can have collectively as former players. And so that's what we want to do as a nationally, is to organize, right, that energy, right, organize you know, that ability and that notoriety to say, hey, let's make a difference, whether it's nationally like this CDC campaign of vaccination, or locally, an individual local, and do it in a way that's going to be fun, enjoyable, and very successful.
1372 show going on here at the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Controls. Jim Ballard, TJ Downing, Bart Oates. You talk about something unique, and only here at an NFL Alumni Association outing or reception, you get a guy like Walt Downing, who would have played against Carl Mecklenburg back in the early 80s, guys that banged in the trenches against each other, and now they're here talking about their health, where they're at in life, and with your partnership with Sanford Health. Talk about that effort to, you know, we talk about vaccinations, but we talk about the guys like yourself who paved the way for this game, and what we know now about the damage and the toll that it takes on your body. Some people can walk away from a 15-year career and there's not much going on. Some guys can play 2 or 3 seasons and there's some lasting damage. So the things that you guys have partnered with Sanford Health and what we know now, the NFL Alumni Association, helping out these former players.
So, right, I mean, listen, we all played, so it's not like we can go back and reverse it. Things that happen, whether it's physically or neurologically. However, what we're involved with is, so write the assessments, trying to perfect those things so that the guys that are playing or the kids that will play, that they're better protected. And then currently, for the guys that are currently have the issues, you know, those alumni guys, is putting protocols in place, putting treatments in place that are going to help us, right? So that, you know, whether if we did, just because you suffer concussions, just because you might have some neurological damage, doesn't mean it's permanent. Right. So there's things that we can do. Just like we, you know, orthopedically, you go to the orthopedic doctor and he says, all right, this is good, rehab, do the PT here, or get a surgery, then do your PT. And guess what? We're all used to that. We're comfortable with that. Well, we can do that for the neck up too. There's protocols, there's techniques, there's things in place, technologies for the neck up to repair, fix the things that are damaged. And so you see a lot of guys. We were able to help guys. We're involved with some organizations that are committed and have some cutting edge technologies in helping guys in this area.
Bart Oates, appreciate you joining us on the 1372 show. We appreciate your support, your blessing, and all the help you've been to us. And
all right,
have a great rest of the weekend here in Enshrinement Festival. There's nothing like it in Canton, Ohio.
It's been fun. I got great feeling here, great energy.
We appreciate the opportunity.
All right, Jim.
Thank you, Bart.
More back on 1372 QBOG here at the Constellation Center of Excellence.
At C.H. Vallis & Associates, we've been proudly serving the greater Stark County community for over 78 years. Locally owned, we cover your home, auto, business, and life insurance along with your group benefits. Our partnership with auto owners has allowed us to span not only Ohio, but throughout the entire country. Did you know that Auto Owners, an A++ rated company by AM Best and a Fortune 500 company, has ranked C.H. Vallis & Associates a top 10 insurance agency in the state of Ohio? From your basic home and auto needs to insuring some of the largest companies in America, there's a reason people choose C.H. Vallis & Associates and Auto Owners. Our dedication and passion for our clients and their coverage is part of our commitment to excellence. For all your insurance coverage needs, there's only one call to make, and that's C.H. Vallis & Associates, located at 1302 South Main Street in North Canton. Contact us at 330-494-2776 today and see the difference in customer satisfaction.
1372 show QBOG. QB1 for us here is Jim Ballard, the College Football Hall of Famer. I'm TJ Downing, and we're roaming the grounds of the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Controls, and we're here today inside the Constellation Center of Excellence for the NFL Alumni Association, and we're joined by Dean Dalton. We'll leave titles out. We'll just go visionary behind the NFL Alumni Academy. Before we talk about the health stuff, give us an update on how the Academy went last year.
It was exceptional. All things considered, the whole world was upside down with the pandemic, and we created our own little bubble here in Canton. And we you know, knock on wood, we kept everybody healthy.
Yeah.
And got guys back into the league. And so our academy just so football fans understand what it is we take the next best guys that were in training camps with NFL teams, and then there's 864 guys that get cut that were this close, right? This close to being on a roster, and whatever that deficiency was that kept them from being on it, whether it's football IQ, technique work, strength, physical, footwork, anything that they need to work on, we bring them and we invite them. So it's a very select group, and we invite them. Then as we grade them out to be the next best guy available. Now last year we did the offensive line, the defensive line, and running backs. Because that covers a lot of the roster.
The important guys.
Hey, that's where the game starts, man. The trenches.
It doesn't matter who's getting the ball behind the center.
All he has to learn how to hand it off, right? You don't have to pass. Maybe a swing route. But anyway, our whole premise was we're improving the bottom of NFL rosters. And that's what makes the quality of the NFL so good is the championship depth on rosters, and that's why teams win. Because injuries are inevitable. And the NFL was the only professional league in the world that didn't have a developmental program. So, everybody says, well, college football. Well, college football is the program that gets guys ready for the draft. All right, once they're in the National Football League or they get cut and they're free agents, there's no program to develop them. There's no minor league system. There's no G League NBA. There's no junior hockey. There's nothing that feeds and helps them develop. So normally an NFL player gets cut. They go to their home. They go to their college, and they work out at with their old facilities. Go to the gym, but they're not getting NFL ready. They're not improving themselves from whatever deficiency kept them from making a roster. And that's what we do. And they're getting coached by NFL veterans. I mean, heck, if you're an offensive lineman, you got to have a 36-year veteran, Mike Tice, who is a head coach in the league. He did the offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, played 14 years.
Got down in the stands for 14 years.
And that's as good as it gets.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no. Anthony Munoz, Hall of Famer,
Maybe
one of
the
the
best
best
tackle
ever. We're out here working
Wow.
with these young men and imparting their wisdom, their knowledge, their technique, and their tricks of the trade. And, we worked out really well. For the small group we had, we helped 17 guys, get jobs back in the National Football League.
Dean, I was very fortunate to have NFL Europe 95, 96, and 98.
That was a good development program.
It was a great developmental league, and I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for that opportunity with the World Bowl championship in 1996. And, we've talked about this, a couple times you've been in town, and there isn't anything for guys to get. There is no league for guys to get better at, to go play in the spring like we were fortunate enough to do, and for the opportunity for guys to come in and to stay ready, to be able to upload film to all these teams.
Yep.
And not just that. For us selfishly, TJ and I being local guys, to bring those guys as a development league here in Canton, in our backyard where football was founded with all the great traditions. And look at this stadium. It's a high school stadium.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Where Canton McKinley plays, and it's just great to have guys have opportunities to, be able to come in and keep lifting and do the right things, as opposed, you get cut at home. I know when I got cut one of, 8 times, you get a little depressed. The weight might go up a little bit.
The good news is you had 8 times because you kept playing.
Yeah, but it got harder and harder every time the
something
Reaper
like
came.
this would have been paramount for me when I was released from the Arizona Cardinals. I felt like a man without a home. I was like, I'm lost. Where do I go? Go back to Columbus, work out, wait for that phone call. But being able to come right here, and the last time we saw you, we were doing one of our live broadcasts, and you guys were just getting ready to launch. And how this place looks so much different. And now you guys are going to make it your headquarters. And for guys to be able to have a home, that's a big thing.
And it's pretty select. So it's an invitation-only process. I'll give you a great example since your career ending with the Arizona Cardinals. We had a young man who got cut with the Cardinals in camp last year. We brought him in. He played at Wake Forest. And Wake Forest, and Jim can appreciate this, they chucked the ball all over the place. All right, they ran a spread offense. So this 6'8", talented, long reach, good, intelligent young man got cut because his technique sucked. Mm-hmm. Because all he did was zone blocking and 3-step, passing, quick passing. So he could not keep up technique-wise. Mm-hmm. Well, he spent the fall with Mike Tice and Anthony Munoz and Steve Smith and our coaching staff, and he's now with the Indianapolis Colts.
It's a great story.
I think
Great opportunity.
I think working with those guys, you'd have to walk away with a little bit of knowledge, right?
Well, it was really cool seeing the two of them interact.
Yeah.
Because and then we brought in, we have the coaching development program too, the diversity development program. So Jermon Bushrod, who was a 12-year Pro Bowler, won the Super Bowl with the Saints. He came in. He got to learn as how the craft of coaching from two just exceptional veterans. They're as good as it gets. But it was fun to see Mike Tice say, "Man, he 36 years in the NFL and he's working side by side with Anthony Munoz." He goes, "Man, I'm learning so much." And Munoz was going, "That was a good point, Coach." And then so it was really a cool dynamic. And that's just our offensive line. We did the same, with D-line and the running back. So, and we're going to grow the program.
Yeah.
Obviously we scaled it conservatively to those positions because of injury rates at those positions, and we're going to grow it to all 22. But with the pandemic and all that, and this year we're going to come back and do it again. And it's exciting. We're ready to go. And the NFL teams know about it.
Yeah.
Last year, no one knew what it was till mid-season. And to your point, Jim, our secret sauce is we're coaching them with NFL guys. We're doing life skills. All right. We have two-time Super Bowl champion Perry Williams, Professor Perry Williams. He does Zoom calls on life skills and leadership training. We have nutrition, seminars. We have diet, sleep science. We're doing cognitive testing. All right. So we're going to see. We're doing our own study. We're going to see if their cognitive improvement. Because as I used to say as a coach, a step ahead in your head is better than two with your feet, because you know what's your anticipation of the game. So we're incorporating the holistic approach to making them a better player, but hopefully a better prepared person.
Yeah.
And they're just young guys.
Here's the thing too. You're talking about the wellness and stuff. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea 6 years ago, and I had no idea what it was and what it meant, and how sleep deprived that I was. And maybe some of these guys have that, and if that can be addressed. I mean, when you have sleep apnea, you really don't get into a good REM sleep, and you're kind of drifting in and out, and you're not rested. You're just continually grinding and basically on no hours of sleep. I did a sleep study. My heart stopped like 100 times an hour. My buddy was a doctor. He's like, "You need to get a CPAP yesterday." So for you guys to be able to give that, and also with a lot of the guys, when we're inside the lines, there's no issues. It's what do they do with all the extra time away from the game, and the fact that you're bringing in all those aspects of the game to teach them how to be professionals, not just on the field, but off, is just a huge thing.
No one's trained them on coming to Canton. How do they get organize their plane ticket or rent a car, or how
where do you stay? Just
teaching them those simple things, because in college it was all done for them.
Yeah.
And in the pros it's done for you. And so the life skills training helps a guy succeed as much as anything, because the first thing that happens when a guy gets signed, he's got a NFL on his chest, he's got a couple nickels in his pocket, and he wants to go be an NFL player and be that guy.
Yep.
And that is the detrimental to your opportunity to actually stay being that player, and that more careers are ruined off the field than on.
Dean, before you get out of here, talk about the partnership that the NFL Alumni Association has with Sanford Health and what we're doing here today.
It's really exciting. So from the NFL Alumni Academy perspective, Sanford Health is our medical partner. So their physicians will do the physicals when guys come in. Their certified athletic trainers will be on site. And we have a cool partnership from the NFL Alumni Association perspective. They offer us executive physicals and executive health care for all NFL alumni members, which you guys are, right? And they're able to FDA-approved stem cell studies. So I'm a guy who's had almost everything reattached, right? And I'm supposed to have one more replacement surgery, but I'm going to go through that study myself to see if that will work for me. But and they do so many things that bring the science into a better quality of life, and that's the end game for our partnership. The mission of the NFL Alumni Association is caring for our own. Right? The philanthropic mission is caring for kids and caring for the communities that we all live in, and we have 40 different communities represented by NFL alumni chapters around the U.S. And so ultimately this partnership is really caring for our own and taking care of guys, because you both have played the game a long time, and they understand that once you played football, especially at an elite level, your body's never feels
Same.
good.
No.
Never feels good. And we just learned how to deal with it. We all developed this pain threshold level that we just get used to, and ideally we can change that with a science and a healthcare partner like Sanford Health, because what they're offering for us is relief of pain and improvement of quality of life after you're done playing.
Dean, appreciate you joining us on
Great
the
to see you,
1372 show. Appreciate all your help and all your support that you give
Dean,
us.
look
and
forward to seeing you this fall,
always
my
great
friend.
talking to you, my man.
I love it.
Thanks for your time.
Look forward to it. I'll join you guys on some Friday Night Lights broadcasts. It'll
Absolutely.
be fun. It's Ohio's great football, man.
We'll be here.
And that, to your point, Jim, earlier, we're so excited because I'm a lifer, and to bring this new program to develop the next generation of players and give them opportunities to maybe become an NFL alum. And do it at the birthplace of football with the history, the tradition, the passion for football and Canton.